What a man.
Hi guys, welcome to the most anticipated WITMFB. What's in the mother bag of Golf Sidekick? First step in this process is, of course, the top of the bag. We have the driver with the lovely Water Player head cover, available at waterplayergolf.com. This club is a M5 TaylorMade Tour Edition. Now, Tour Edition is a bit different to the normal ones because it's come from the tour van. So they've got like the hottest faces, and the loft is not necessarily 10.5. So I paid a bit of a premium for this online, and it was $500 US secondhand. It's got a Tensei 60 Flex TX, so that's Tour X stiff. Not too sure about it at the moment, but I may play around with some shafts. Now, each club in my bag is going to be dedicated to one player. They're going to know why exactly. And for this one, we're going to dedicate this one to Paul Knowlton. Paul Knowlton, this club is dedicated to you. Next in the bag is the 3-wood. This one is also bought online secondhand. This is a Callaway Epic golf club. Now this also is a tour issue, okay? So I also paid way too much money for this. This one has an Atmos Tour Spec 7 TX, so I'm guessing that's 70 grams Tour X stiffness, and this is a secret weapon. I'm very scared of this 15-degree loft for some reason on a 3-wood. I don't know why. So I set this one down to +1 and neutral. So I'm playing this one at 16 degrees. And this club is dedicated to Mr. Chris Chartrand. I don't know if I said your name right, but Mr. Chris Chartrand, this one's dedicated to you. The next club in the bag, players, is the secret weapon. The one that triggers a lot of people. I tried a few hybrids, okay, in the interim, because I thought maybe a hybrid is going to go further, maybe going to give me a higher flight into the greens. I tried 2-3 hybrids. I even had a Cobra, the new ones, the Speed Zone. Fantastic club, but I just missed the 2-iron too much. I thought that, like some people say, it's an ego club, so I tried to take it out the bag. But you know what? I smashed this thing. I spanked this thing. I'm averaging 240 yards off the tee with this thing, so why would I get rid of it? And this fine club is dedicated to Daniel Cleveland. Now, this is a Srixon ZU85, and a lot of people think that because I hit the 2-iron so nicely, which surprises me, they can as well. And I've given it to J-Mac, I've given it to the B-Dog, and I've given it to T-Ski to try and hit, and it just rings their fingers. It just hurts their hands. If you're gonna buy one of these things, even if it's a 3-iron or 4-iron, you have to remember to have no tension in your hands and like noodle arms. It's the only way to hit it purely and beautifully. As soon as you get some tension in your grip and you start tensing up your arms, forearms and shoulders, you can't hit this club. So if you're a higher handicapper and you're seeing me hitting this on the videos, go try it out first. Don't just buy it, because if you miss the sweet spot and it comes off the toe here or with the heel, it's gonna hurt. It's easy to hit, but it's gonna hurt. So Daniel Cleveland, this one's for you. Players, I got my dream set of irons recently, okay? A little bit of explanation here. You'll see in the videos, I'm using a Mizuno JPX Tour 919. Now, I was fitted for these irons, okay, back here in Thailand last year, but they also fitted me into Project X 6.5s. So it was 6.5, Project X, which is extra stiff, plus a Mizuno JPX 919 Tour head. And I was hitting the ball great on the range that they were fitting me on, but they wanted something like $600 for new shafts, and they wanted $1,400 or $1,200 for the heads. I wasn't prepared to pay that much money. So when I went to South Africa, then I didn't take my clubs with me, but I bought some clubs off a subscriber off of Facebook, and they had Project X 6.5 shafts in this shaft. So I took it with the intention of just taking the shaft out, finding some second-hand heads and putting it into the head. But these shafts came with the old Srixon clubs, the ones that you'll see in my previous videos. So I just played with them because I had them, and I was playing with them in South Africa because I had no other clubs. And I fell in love with the head. The head is much smaller than this, and there's way less offset than this. So when I had these ones put onto the Project X 6.5 shafts, I thought that I had my dream club. But I actually don't like them, because I had the interim period of playing with the Srixon Z745 and 945, I fell in love with them. They're much softer, they've got a great sweet spot, they're quite forgiving. While some people say nothing feels like a Mizuno, I say nothing feels like a Srixon. And this club, although not used, will be dedicated to Mr. Atlee Jones. What a player. Players, that brings us on to what I'm playing today. Okay, I had the Z745 945 split. Some people would comment about, oh, 4-handicapper playing blades. Whatever. I like blades, they work for me. Not necessarily all blades, but then cavity backs like the JPX 919X Tour, whatever it's called, doesn't work for me. I've gone for the Srixon Z-forged irons. I've got 4-iron down to pitching wedge in this beautiful blade from Srixon. So I bought these, just the heads. So I bought these heads here in Thailand after I got back. And actually, Eric, while doing my lessons, was a bit disappointed I came back with Mizunos after replacing my Srixon Z745 and 945. In actual fact, Srixon are making some of the softest, most buttery feeling clubs on the market at the moment of all the big manufacturers. So I went for the Z-Forge, which is like my dream iron, to be honest. Like I was dreaming about the JPX 919 Tours, but these are the dream. And Eric, with his wisdom and maestro club fitting experience, told me to get the KBS Tour S Plus. So it's a stiff plus. So it's slightly stiffer than stiff, but not X stiff, which he thinks I was overfitted for in Thailand for the Project X 6.5s. So I put those slightly less stiff shafts in here, and these things are an absolute dream now. So because I have 4 to pitching wedge, these ones are dedicated to each individual player. The 4-iron is dedicated to Mr. Tom Hatton. Number 5 is to Mr. Bojan Petrovic. Number 6 is to Mr. Volker Teichgraber. I don't know how to say your name, brother, but I'm trying. Okay, number 7 is dedicated to Mr. Philippe Berberat. Number 8 is dedicated to Mr. Tobias Pum. Okay, we are going on to number 9, and that is Mr. Trevor Shelton. Thank you, sir. Mr. Trevor Shelton, you are 9-iron in my bag. Everywhere I go, every step I take, every breath I take, every move I make, dedicated to you. The pitching wedge is dedicated to my man in the US, T. Manor, one of the most active on the Facebook group for a while. I think the Mexican beer sickness may have stopped the golf where he is. Next, we move on to Mr. Matt Paranak, who is my 50-degree wedge. Now, this is an old second-hand wedge, and I love it. I mean, I love it so much. I alternate between the 50 and the 52, depending on where I'm playing. If the conditions are a bit wetter, I'll take the 50 degree, and if it's a bit drier, I'll take the 52 degree, just because how they interact with the turf. This is a Cleveland Reg 588, old thing from about 15, 20 years ago. Got it in a second-hand shop. On to the 52 degree, and this one is dedicated to Mr. Alex Morris, who has been with me from the beginning. Thanks for the emails, Alex. I haven't heard from you in a while. Send me another email sometime. Next, we have Petri Kiviluoma. You know, one of these Scandinavian names, very difficult to pronounce. But that is my 56 degree. And these wedges are very, very unique. Because people think that I have these expensive wedges from the latest videos. But this is an MD Super Strong. These are MD wedges. Now, that is a very cheap wedge. These wedges together cost me $50 US. I was using the 60 degree, which is also very potent. They have a very rough face and nice deep grooves, and these things rip. Absolutely fantastic wedges for not much money. I mean, you can get more expensive wedges and go for a fitting, which you can do, but I am a bargain hunter. Players, this one is my very special wedge. Eric actually built this for me. He put on the KBS High Rev S125 shaft with a little red ferrule. Look at that, it's a blank wedge that he took, and he just ground it exactly how I wanted, because I threw my bunker club in the lake because I just couldn't stand it anymore from the fairway. After I threw it in the lake, I realized I don't have a bunker club anymore. So Eric kindly made me one, and that is how it looks. This thing is a potent beast, and this one we're going to dedicate to Mr. Ron Harper. Ron Harper, this one's for you. Next up, players, the all-important flat stick. Now, This one is a bit expensive. This is the Evan roll. Okay, with the Evan roll, it's a premium putter. It's kind of like a Scotty, and on this one I've put on the gravity grip. I think it makes a bit of a difference, but I'm not sure. You know, I'm not really a fan of the thicker grips. I kind of feel like I putt a bit more with my wrists and a bit more in my hands. I'm trying to use it with the new grip that I got that I use from Michelle's lesson, but I don't know. I feel like I need to have a bit more wrist movement in my stroke. I think it works best for me. Now this is the Evan roll 1.2 tour blade. When you have an expensive putter like this, it's a bit difficult to not use it. So I've got a few cheap putters lying around, but I have to use this because it's so expensive. I'm not convinced by it. It's quite nice. And for this club, we're going to dedicate this to one of our followers and subscribers. This one is for Dan Bartholomew. Every time I put my hand around this grip, Dan, it's me hugging you. Of course, players, I have to use the best towels in the business. This one is the towel that you can get on waterplayergolf.com. One side, colorful feathers. Other side, planting feathers, growing birdies. Now, some people may have wondered how this towel works. What is this thing in the middle of the towel? Why is there a hole there? So because of that, and because people were confused and kind of losing their towels and not understanding why I've put a hole in the middle of the towel, I added a black hoop. So now you can just string it straight onto your bag, just loop it through there, and you're not going to lose it. Okay, players, now in the rest of the bag, okay, it's always important to have the right accessories. In this bag, what I like to use every round is, in fact, as you know, my rangefinder. Now this is the Inesis rangefinder, which I've had for probably about a year now, functioning perfectly, as accurate as the Bushnell, and I've only changed the battery once in a year. Absolutely fantastic. On the golf course, players, there's some necessities that we need. And of course, those are tees and accessories that we use, for example, marking the ball. So what I do is I like to put a solid black line straight down the middle of the golf ball. One of these things, I think this cost me about $2 or $1. Fantastic little thing. Other things I carry are long tees, because the short tees I just steal from the caddies. Much easier, then I don't have to buy them, right? So they give them to me, I hold on to them just temporarily until I lose them, then I guess I've lost it. Then we have some elastic bands. Now what do I do with elastic bands, players? Elastic bands go on my putter. When I want to hit the sweet spot, I put them over the face. One there and another one over there. So you're forced to hit the sweet spot when you're practicing, okay? So because I have a tendency to hit it on the toe. So I take elastic bands and I put them on the face so that when I'm standing over the ball, I learn to align the middle of the face with the ball. Because I often align it with the toe and hit it out the toe. Very inconsistent for your distances. Players, next we move on to the big pocket, okay? Now this is a bit of a tricky one because it never really fits in people's cars and things, but I have to take this everywhere I go in my bag. I sometimes try to use this as a form of payment at the golf club. When they ask me to pay the green fee, I just hand them this and just say, do you know who I am? So far, it's worked 0 out of 25 times. They just look at me blankly and ask me for my credit card. As always, you have to have the duct tape. Why do I carry duct tape in the bag? In case I snap a shaft. If I snap one of the shafts, I can just tape it up and continue playing. Next thing is we have the Callaway Swing Easy. Now this is a training bra, and I use this for putting only now. I used that in that one video where I played every shot with it, right? But what I discovered while I was doing the video was that this thing works for keeping your elbows tucked in when you putt, making a nice connected stroke. So now I use it all the time when I'm practicing. Next in the bag is the Voice Caddy SC300. This thing is like a distance launch monitor that you just stick behind you at the driving range, and it's great for finding out your distances, your true carry distance. Now, it's not necessarily accurate on every single shot, but over 30 to 40 shots on each club, I think so far what I found is it's a perfectly accurate number. If you use that average over 30 to 40 shots, you will find that each club that measures in carry distance will be spot on. And I use the distances for my shots based on what the Voice Caddy has told me. Check the link in the description, discount code. Okay players, what's the ball in the bag of the player in chief? Srixon Z-Star yellow color. Why? Because they were on promotion. Innis's Tour 900, I still play these golf balls. They're so cheap. If I need some golf balls quickly, I shoot to Decathlon or order them online. Bam, 2 days later, 1 day later, they're on my doorstep. Perfect golf ball, nothing wrong with them. And the next one is the most maligned golf ball in golf at the moment. It's a Srixon Q-Star Tour. Okay? There's a website who claims that these things are uneven and who claims that it's going to make your ball go and all over the show and it's not your fault. I've shot 75 on the Gary Player Country Club in Sun City, a championship course with these golf balls. I think they're okay. Now players, you may be wondering what the hell is on Matt's head. Well, I'll tell you what it is, player. That is a feather in the cap, as in a hat clip. And these are available on whataplayergolf.com. You just take it and put it on the brim here. It helps to grow your birdies. You plant the feather, you grow the birdie. Sometimes these little magic things help, and you can purchase them plus a golf sidekick, planting feathers, growing birdies, ball marker, which sticks right on them like that. Magnetic, beautiful, fantastic. But what else is in the bag of the player in chief? What we have in this bag, players, is in fact, wow, what a coincidence, totally unplanned, that all 4 colors of the ball markers that I sell on whataplayergolf.com are in this bag that fit into this lovely pitchfork. You are not allowed to plant real feathers on the greens because then someone else has to putt there, okay? The only feather you're allowed to plant on the greens to grow birdies is this one. You can pair it with a turquoise, with a blue, with a gold, or with a red ball marker. That's how easy it is. You plant it before you putt, before your birdie putt, and it works 60% of the time, every time. But before we move on, we still have these duo ball markers. Now, this one is a golf sidekick on one side and What a Player with some feathers on the other, which comes as a set with the ball marker, which is reversible. You just push it out like that and you can put it back in like that. What a lie. Players, another key piece of equipment I've just purchased. It's a Garmin S40 watch. Now I don't like wearing watches, right? But this thing is great. I put it on just high enough so it doesn't interfere with my wrist or my glove. And this thing tracks your true distances. I don't know how, but it can pick up when you've hit a golf ball, and it comes up on the screen for you to insert which iron that was, and it tracks you to your next shot where it automatically picks up again the shot you've just hit, and it cuts the distance of where you were. So it tracks all that stuff, and with the app on the phone, you can learn your true distances with your golf clubs, which is what I'm doing at the moment. Absolutely brilliant. The final stage in the golf bag, players, what's in here? Okay, so we have some arm sleeves, which is of course necessary here in the tropics when it gets hot and I don't have any sun cream. And the most important thing in my golf bag, players, never a day, never a golf bag without it, it's a toilet roll. Why? Because often I need to always be carrying toilet paper, always be purchasing. Get to whataplayergolf.com, hat clip, pitchfork, ball markers, duo ball marker, head covers, towels, everything. Do it.